John, do you know if we have a new password and a new link, a Wi-Fi link? You
Nope.
don't know anything about that, do you?
No,
I think that's David, okay. But you're in the system?
What?
But you're in? You're
Yeah,
in.
we're streaming right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go on. Really? The master of ceremonies himself. Good. All right. I know before, well, I don't know what happened. Something was not right. 43. Wow, that's great. I've never done it before. I probably never will again. That's what we're saying. Then you had gross, was not holding it, gross, when you had, my gross was 43 minus 29. Wow. There you go. That's it. I'll try to get into it again. Are you good with you? Yeah, very good. You're doing great. If it's not right, it's not what we're showing.
How's the temperature now?
63.
That's a little cold. Why don't you put it up?
I don't know how to work with that. It's 67 actually. It's called, it says cool. It's not on heat, it's on cool. It's 67, it says cool to 76. Instead of heat. I don't know how to say it. Currently 67.
It is?
Yeah. It says cool to 76.
No, so you have to just push it so it's different. Hold on.
Now 67. It says cool.
Yeah. Okay, that should be right now. Let's hope. I don't know. Let's see. Don't know.
Jack of all trades.
How you doing? We don't bite.
fun. Somebody said you sing. You want to sit here, Robin? Huh? She doesn't want to sit with you?
Here. No, you need it. You're not going to need it immediately, but at some point.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not well. What is it? Read?
And how was,
How do you about it? You guys there?
it was fast, we had a new first.
Yeah.
When I was in New York, I broke my glasses. We're gonna read the dirty problem from the show. Is Rick already too? I don't remember the spelling name.
Are you cold, Roger? Is it cold in here? We just turned up the heat. Yeah. Okay. Just turned it on.
I thought he wasn't good in the afternoon.
And
he said, no, he's going to pick up the
holidays. It's a nice one.
I know I was saying it was on before I left with my friend Luna. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Thank you.
These are my new old glasses. Same friend. And these are my old lenses. They're brand new frames. I got the story. I got these. So these are my old lenses. You can put new frames. So I can have glasses. So you get those. And this is the same frame. So for $50, I got this $50.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I would encourage you all to sit more towards this side because of the PowerPoint, so you can see that you can see from there. Yeah. All right, and that's fine. Yeah, we got plenty of time.
This is not really that. This is
Hey, how are you, Yehudi?
it's just there.
I know. I'm so
When
excited.
I was checking with the later, so we're all good.
We're all good. We can, either you or he will do the. Do you want to do the slides?
Whichever you want, because we always live in like this way or another way. You want to control that.
Can I do it?
You can do it on the remote right here.
Yeah, let me do that. Can you bring that?
It's easier with the keyboard. You just hit the right
Let
button.
me get some foil, I'll be right back.
Can I? Is she bringing the? Oh.
Put it right here.
Back to this. I don't know. Something like There we go. Okay. So what do I press? What do I press?
To advance the slide, you go to the right. To go backwards, you go left.
All right, that's perfect. It's easy. Thank you. You are excused. Okay. I just want to know why I don't have any Wi-Fi.
I think you have to get on the Wi-Fi. I guess you get onto the JFHF guest. Does anybody know what the password for the guest is?
What's the password you use? Password?
I'll get it, hold on.
We don't know the password.
Fellowship, small f, capital F,
For the
fellowship,
Wi-Fi.
151.
Wait, Wi-Fi.
Yes.
What is the fellowship?
Yeah. The only problem is
Shabbat and jail.
But the JFHF guest did not come. There were 3 other people.
All right, I think it's working. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me just make sure.
And I sent emails to you and to Brady about it, so I don't know.
Guest?
All right, I think we're good.
Yeah?
I first learned about this.
Is this mic good? The right height for you?
Yeah, maybe.
Standing while you sing, right?
Yes, like this? Okay. I can hear. What would you say? Yeah. I'm not ready quite. I need a minute. Okay. Okay. But here? Okay. Can you hear it?
I first
I just listened. Where does it sound the strongest?
It'll be okay.
It's very narrow.
Yes. Yes, we will. Okay.
Can I ask everyone to take their seats and get started? I just want to let you know how this is really important. I know you don't believe in the Messiah, but we have an AD Messiah who can come on.
Yay.
None of this works. He vowed to
And also David Nissenbaum.
David Dissenbell. He's not here tonight. It's incredibly helpful putting tonight's program together. So.
Absolutely. Okay, should I just start with a little nigun? Welcome, everyone. Wonderful to see all of you. We are going to enter into the season of the High Holy Days. Yeah? Can you all hear me? We're going to enter into the season of the High Holidays with this holy night of Selichot. And we're going to begin with probably the most well-known melody of the High Holy Days, Avinu Malkeinu. We're not going to sing the words yet. That'll come later. But we're going to just sing it as a lai, 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 lai. So let's just do it really gently and let's create this. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, rai, rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. We go back to the high part. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, rai, rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Yai, rai, 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 rai. Isn't that a beautiful melody? That is the soul of the Jewish people in this melody. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Beautiful. Erev Tov, everyone. Good evening. Sure. Someone has a cell phone on or something on. First, everyone, make sure your cell phones are off. This would be a great moment. I'm going to just continue to play some meditative music. Of course. So welcome to the gathering for Selichot. This is a beautiful custom in our tradition. It's stepping into, it's a prelude to the holiness of the high holy day season and the Yamim Hanoraim, these days of awe that will be upon us and that we will step into, hopefully fully, spiritually, emotionally, and in every way possible. So tonight we're going to have a little short Selichot service after our program tonight. In many synagogues across the country, there's usually some kind of a musical or cultural program that people do in liberal synagogues, and I was asked to do a program, and this is something I've shared with different communities in different parts of the country. It's a meaningful and sweet way of appreciating the diversity of the Jewish people all over the world. How many of you have traveled all over the world? How many of you have visited Jewish communities in different countries? Yes, I know many of you have. Yes. So this is, we only have a little over an hour, so we can't go everywhere, but I'm going to take you on a journey to different parts of the Jewish world through music and through story. And you're going to, and through some images too. So, this program was kind of, humorously called Around the Jewish World in 80 Minutes. So we're going to start with something kind of fun. So everyone should have a program. Raise your hand if you don't have a program. Okay, we're making some more copies. Maybe you could look on with someone. Could someone share with these gentlemen? That would be really great. We have a few more. Yeah. So this song is, when I teach this to my religious school children, this is their favorite song. They love this song. And it's called Wherever You Go, There's Always Someone Jewish. How many of you have been in the middle of Paris or Buenos Aires and you meet someone you know from your Jewish community, or you meet someone who's Jewish? Yeah, it always happens, right? I remember one of my friends, older lady who was a dear person in my life, and she was waiting in line, I believe it was in London, to some museum, and she and this man, they locked eyes, and they immediately knew that they were Jews. And all of a sudden she says, was macht a Yid? Which is like, what is a Jew doing here? Okay, so we're gonna look at the program, the indentation. This program, by the way, is participatory. It's not going to be, I'm counting on all of you to sing and enjoy this music as well. Okay, so 3 paragraphs down. This is, everyone just repeat after me. Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv. Try that. Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv. Oh, they're miles apart. Oh, they're miles apart. But when we light the candles on the Sabbath Eve, try that. But when we light the candles on the Sabbath Eve, we share in the prayer of each one of our hearts. We share in the prayer in each one of our hearts. All right, that's it. It's a cute little refrain. Let's try that. Amsterdam. Who's been to Amsterdam? Disneyland? Tel Aviv? All right. 1, 2, 3. Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv. Oh, they're miles apart. But when we light the candles on the Sabbath Eve, we share in the prayer in each one of our hearts. So that's your job, to come in on the refrain. I'm going to sing the rest of the song from the beginning. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. You're never alone when you say you're a Jew. So when you're not home and you're somewhere kind of newish, very few words rhyme with Jewish, you know that, right? Bluish, I think. The odds are, don't look far, 'cause they're Jewish too. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-dum. Some Jews live in tents, and some live in pagodas. And some Jews pay rent, 'cause the city's not free. And some Jews live on farms in the hills of Minnesota. And some Jews wear no shoes and live by the sea. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Everyone! Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv. Oh, they're miles apart. But when we light the candles on the Sabbath Eve, we share in the prayer in each one of our hearts. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. And some Jews wear hats, and some Jews wear sombreros. and some wear keffiyehs to keep out the sun. And some Jews live on rice, and some live on potatoes, or waffles, falafels, or hamburger buns. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv, oh, they're miles apart. But when we light the candles on the Sabbath Eve, we share in the prayer in each one of our hearts. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. You're never alone when you say you're a Jew. So when you're not home and you're somewhere kind of newish, the odds are don't look far, 'cause they're Jewish too. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-dum. All right. So that's a fun way to begin our little journey. So the first place I'm going to take you in the Jewish world is Spain. This is, and Yehudit was just there. Where's Yehudit? Is she here? She just left. All right, she'll be back. So this is in Toledo, the beautiful city, about an hour south of Madrid. I lived in Madrid for a year after college. I was teaching English there, and I got to see some of the beautiful remnants of Jewish history in Spain. There aren't as many as we would hope, because we know the history of Spain. The Jews were forced to either convert or be expelled in 1492. So this is the beautiful, what is called the mudechar design, this ornamented filigree design, Arabic-inspired design of the El Tránsito synagogue in Toledo. This is the Jewish quarter in Girona, which is near Barcelona. What do you see here? There is a very old place. There is not a mezuzah, but there's a place for a mezuzah. There once was a mezuzah on this doorpost of this medieval medieval home. And that's really kind of an emblematic symbol of what remains of Spanish Jewry from that golden age, from about 900 to 1150, where there was something called a conviviencia, a coexistence, a living together, not always perfect, Jews, Muslims, and Christians, but there was a remarkable period of light where there was sharing of ideas on translations of the Bible, poetry, and all kinds of ideas, science. And this is a detail from the synagogue in Toledo. If anyone can see the Hebrew, do you recognize a prayer from there on the top? Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehalelucha sela. Yeah, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous design on the wall of the synagogue, which is taken from excerpts from the Psalms. And you see the Ashrei, the remnant. Yes. How many of you been? One? A few. There you are. Okay, wonderful. Oops, that's another place. Okay, we're not there yet. So I want you to turn to, we're going to sing a couple songs from this time in Spain. And I'm going to share with you two of the most beloved songs in the Ladino tradition, the language of the Sephardic Jews, which is still spoken, but very much fading. Yiddish has a renaissance, and Yiddish has a daily vernacular by the ultra-Orthodox Jews. So Yiddish lives on. Ladino is quickly fading. There is a small community in Turkey that still speaks Ladino. There's some Jews in South America, in Israel, but this glorious remnant of language from the Sephardic Jews of Spain and Portugal, there's not a lot left, but as a living language. But the music is definitely living on in concerts and in cultural events. So I want you to look at this first song, Cuando el Rey Nimrod. When King Nimrod went out to the fields, looked at the heavens and at the stars, he saw a sainted or a holy light at the Jewish quarter, a sign that Abraham, our father, was about to be born. Does this remind you of any other story? Yes, it does. What is that? The Star of Bethlehem, right. So, Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendillo a la luz de Israel. Abraham, our dear father who blessed the light of Israel. And here you see such a cultural merging, a cultural borrowing and synthesis of, in this case, frankly, Christian stories and imagery and a Jewish idea. And this is such a Jewish thing, to take the stories, the food, the music in the cultures we've lived all around us and I don't want to say co-opt them, but embrace them and give a Jewish cast upon it. So we have a story that it's not Jesus being born, it's Abraham who's being born. And there was a star that told us that it was going to happen. Now let's look further. Terach's wife, so Terach is the father of Abraham, the wife of Terach was pregnant. Each day he asked her, "Why do you look so distraught?" She already knew the good thing that was growing inside her. After 9 months, she wanted to give birth to her baby. She was walking on the fields and the vineyards, so her husband did not discover her. Actually, this is not a good translation. She kind of stumbled upon a me'era, which in Hebrew, have you heard of Ma'arat Machpelah, the cave of Machpelah? She stumbled upon a cave, interestingly enough, where she will have her baby. So it's not the manger, but it's the cave of Machpelah that Abraham bought for a resting place for the patriarchs and matriarchs. And now we find out when this song is going to be used. Let's greet the Godfather and also the Moel. Because of their merit, the Redeemer will come to us and redeem all of Israel. Let us praise the true one of Israel. This song is sung as a bris, a brit milah, a circumcision ceremony. Why do we invoke Abraham? He was the what? He was the first Jew, the first one to follow the directives, the mandate of God to circumcise himself and his household and his children, his sons. So here we are. So I'm going to teach you the refrain, which is in bold. Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu. Try that. Avram Avinu. Padre querido. Padre bendijo, luz de Israel. Try that. Avram Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendijo, a la luz de Israel. And you'll come in on your part. Cuando el rey Nimrod al campo salía, miraba en el cielo y en la estrellería, vida una luz santa en la judería, que había de nacer Abraham Avinu. Everyone. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendijo, a la luz de Israel. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendijo, luz de Israel. Let's go to the very last verse, which speaks about the Moel and how we will be, because of the merit of the Godfather and the Moel, the Redeemer will come to us. Saludemos al compadre y también al Moel, que por su zehut mos venga el Goel y regima a toda Israel. Cierto lo haremos al verdadero de Israel. Everyone. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendicho, luz de Israel. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendicho, luz de Israel. It's a beautiful song. Let's go to the next one, which is also very, very beloved. This is a love song. There are countless love ballads, medieval chivalric tales that were really kept alive in the circle of women, mothers to daughters, women who would gather together. And this is, you can hear the merging of the Jewish and the chivalric, with Hebrew words even. Los birbilicos, the nightingales, sing in the flowering tree. Mi neshama, mi ventura, my soul se escurece sufriendo del amor. I'm sorry, the first one. Mi neshama, mi ventura están en tu poder. My soul, my fate are in your possession. The rose blooms in the month of May. My soul darkens, suffering from love. Quickly, come my dove. Quickly, come with me. Come my beloved. Run and save me. So it's a passionate song. Los bilbilicos cantan en el árbol de la flor. Mi neshama, mi ventura están en tu poder. Mi neshama, mi ventura están en tu poder, están en tu poder. La rosa enflorece en el mes de mayo. Mi neshama se escurece sufriendo del amor. Mi neshama se escurece sufriendo del amor. And this melody has been applied to different melodies and liturgies in our tradition. So, for example, I know in the Turkish tradition, and also I believe in North Africa too, Tzur Mishelo Achalnu, from grace after meals, God, whose food we have eaten, let us bless God. We are satisfied and there is still food left over, as God has instructed. So, the melody is applied to this liturgy. Tzur Mishelo Achalnu Baruch Emunah Savanu ve'otarnu Kidvar Adonai Savanu ve'otarnu Kidvar Adonai. So the treasure box of the Jews of Spain. We're going to go to a world which is much more familiar to most of us here. And that's the world of the Yiddish-speaking Jews from Eastern Europe. These are just stunning photographs. I believe this is Roman Vishniak, who went into Poland in the 30s before the war, just before, and he captured moments of daily life of our ancestors who lived in towns like these. This is a Malamed, a Jewish Hebrew school teacher, teaching the little boys their first lessons of Hebrew, the Aleph base. You can see they're a little terrified. You know, there's the story that a sweet or a drop of honey was put on the books. And each time they would learn Kometz Alevo, Kometz Beis Bo, you say the Aleph with an O, you say the base with a Bo. When they would master that, they would have a finger dipped in the honey. So they would associate sweetness with learning. So that's a picture of the boys learning. And I found something remarkable. The girls learning. This is less common. It's more of a rare photo. And so it's a little blurred, but there is a more mature lady in the town who is teaching the girls maybe some just basic blessings so they can keep a kosher home and say the brachot over the Shabbos and Yontif table and all those things. But it's a remarkable photo from that period of women and girls learning. This is a story of the leather workers, the Bund of the leather workers, the socialist men who would gather to agitate for a fair wage and maybe even more than that, wanting to change the world and overthrow the world with a new ideology. And so I wanted to turn to a piece here called Alle Brider, which means, how many of Yiddish speakers are in this room? 1, 2. How many know some Yiddish? Abyssal. Okay. So we're going to just sing a little Yiddish. So there's a little nigun, a little tune. So it goes like this. Ay, 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 ay. Try that. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Try that. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, so we are all brothers and we sing joyous songs, freiliche Lieder. And we stick together. Wir halten sich in einem. Als selche ist nicht bei keinem. There's nothing like no one else does. And we're all happy like Jonathan and King David, Yonasan and David HaMelech, and we're all sisters like Rachel, Ruth, and Esther. Okay. Und wir seinen alle Brüder. Everyone sing. Oi, oi, alle Brüder. That's your part. Und wir singen freiliche Lieder. Your turn. Ai, oi, oi. Und wir halten sich in einem. Oi, oi, sich in einem. Azelcha is nicht da bei keinem. Oi is easy. Oi, oi, oi. Ay, oi, 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 oi. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, 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 ay. Ya, la, 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 la. Und wir seinen alle freilich. Oi, oi, alle freilich. Und wie Yonasan und David HaMelech. Everyone. Oi, oi, oi. Und wir seinen alle Schwester. Oi, oi, alle Schwester. Also wie Rachel, Ruth und Esther. Oi, oi, oi. Ay, 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 ay. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 la, la, la. Ay, 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 ay. Ya, 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 ya. Ay, 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 ay. Let's go to the last verse. Whether we're devout or leftist, we're united all. Whether we're frum and unlink, leftist, like the bridegroom and the bride, like viachosin mitakala, like the chumash with the Rashi, with a kugel with a kashe. We're always united. We may be a little different, but we get along because being united is the most important thing. Frum unlink vereinigt alle, oi, oi, vereinigt alle, wie achosin mitakala, oi, oi, oi. Wie die chumisch mit die Rasche, oi, oi, mit die Rasche, wie die Kugel mit die Kasche, oi, oi. And this is perfect for tonight because we have kugel. Ay, 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 ay. I love your singing. It's awesome. All right. This is I don't know who this person is, but it's an old devout Jew living in a shtetl. And I thought that would be a nice image as we sing this piece about a poor man, he would go out into the forest and he would commune with God, in the spirit of Hasidism. Once there was a poor man who would only quarrel with God, but when he did, wonder upon wonders would happen to him when he sang a tune. Chiri bim bum bum. You repeat after me. It's like a call and response. Chiri bim bum bum. Chiri bim. Chiri bum biddy bum. Chiri bum. Chiri bum. And together. Chiri bim bum bum bum. Chiri biddy bim bum. And repeat after me. Chiri bim. Chiri bum. Chiri bum 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 bum. Ya ba bum bum. All right, I'm going to sing a couple verses of this. Is a Kabs in a Mohol gewesen, pflegt nur mit Gott sich kriegen, Wunder über Wunder, hat mir ihn getroffen, wenn hor gesungen, hat so min nigen. Chiri bim bam bam, chiri bim bam, chiri bam bidi bam, chiri bam bidi, chiri bim bam. Chitty bitty bim bum, chitty bum, chitty bum, chitty bum, chitty bum 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 bum, ya bum bum bum. The Jew sings and bliss pours forth until he jumps for joy. Wonder upon wonders happen to him when he sings, chitty bim bum bum, chitty bum biddy bum, chitty bum 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 bum, chitty biddy bim bum, chitty bum 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 bum, ya ba bum bum. This is a different part of the world. This is Morocco. This is what was known as the Mela, the Jewish quarters in places like Fez and Casablanca or Marrakesh, where mostly fairly poor Jews would gather and would live and carry on all the hustle and bustle of daily life, all the travails, all the joys. And this is a beautiful, I think she's a bride. I think this is a Moroccan bride. Or it could be a traditional dress for one of the holy days. And this is the synagogue, I believe it's in Fez, which is just stunning. And there are very few Moroccan Jews left there. And maybe there are a few thousand. Of course, you probably know the history. Most of them felt compelled to leave when Israel was established, and there were anti-Jewish sentiments and riots and clear dangers to their personal safety. Although the king actually was quite hospitable to the Jews during World War II and really resisted handing them over to the Nazis as they urged them to do so. So there's a complicated, rich history in Morocco. So I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing a song which is perfect for tonight. It's called Adon Haslichot. So I wrote you probably can't read the scratching of the notes down there, but Adon Haslichot, God of forgiveness. This is a Selichot song for the holy days. Everyone repeat after me. Chatanu lefanecha. Excuse me. Rachem aleinu. So Chatanu, you know from our liturgy, it's all over it. We sin before you. Rachem aleinu. What does Rachem mean? What is Rachmanes? Compassion. Be compassionate towards us. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Let's try that. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. And I'll sing the verses. Adon Selichot boche levavot kole amukot dover tzidakot. Your turn. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Hador beniflaot vatik benechamot zocher berit avot choker kelayot. Everyone. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. This is a place. Shoshana, were you in India? You were, yes. I remember you speaking about it. Were you in Calcutta, the Baghdadi, or you were more in Cochin? You did, okay. Yeah, so there are three essential communities in India, for those of you who don't know. There's the Bnei Yisrael, who are in Mumbai or Bombay. There are the Calcutta Jews, who come from Baghdad originally. And then the Cochin Jews, who I believe are the most ancient. Are they all, maybe it's the Bnei Yisrael. Okay. The one that I'm more familiar with in terms of the music are the Jews of Calcutta. And hold on. This is an Indian Jewish man contemplating his ancestry. And this is this book of music, which I'm taking some of the songs from. That is the Magen David synagogue in the middle of Calcutta, which is stunning. That is a tikka. They read inside the scroll, like in many Mizrahi and Sephardic communities. This is one of the few remaining Jews in Calcutta. I think they're a handful. Most of them have emigrated to Israel, the States, or other parts of the world. So I want to. We'll go to this one. So I want to share with you a couple songs. The first one is not in your program, and I just want to just read a little bit about the Jews of Calcutta by Rahel Muzlea. And I went to a program of her music. It was really quite stirring. She says, "The story of the Jews of Calcutta cannot be told that way much longer, for as writing this, the community numbers only about 50, and this was already 20 years ago. The first Jew to arrive in Calcutta was a serious businessman from Aleppo named Shalom Cohen. In 1798, he settled in Calcutta and placed it on the map of the Jewish diaspora. Cohen was so successful that he ultimately became the court jeweler to the Nawab or nobleman of Lucknow. News of his fortune spread to Aleppo and other Jewish communities in Iraq, Persia, Egypt, and Yemen. Though the roots of the community are Syrian, the Baghdadi Jews that streamed to India in the 1800s changed the complexion of the Kehillah. Calcutta Jews can claim to be descended from one of the oldest of Jewish communities. So it actually is the Calcutta Jews. For their Iraqi ancestors trace their heritage to the exile from the first temple in 586 BCE. The Iraqi Jews came to Calcutta to emulate Cohen's business success, as well as to flee religious persecutions in Baghdad from 1825 to 1835. With the city's strategic, commercial, and geographic position, they managed to create booming export business in commodities such as opium, indigo, and silk. At its peak in the 1940s, there were 5,000 Jews who worshipped in 3 synagogues. While we can no longer, Rachel writes, we can no longer kiss every one of the 75 Torahs in the Magen David synagogue. That was the custom on Shabbat. They had 75 Torahs, and all the kids would come up and they would kiss 75 Torahs as part of their celebration of the treasures of the Torah. We can no longer kiss the 75 Torahs. We can still sing the songs, the Pizmonim, that capture the flavor of the community's celebration. So, before we turn into a song connected to Havdalah, I want to sing something that you're very familiar with, but a different melody. And this is Passover. Manishtana. So you'll notice that the order of the questions are a little different. Manishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelot shebechol halelot ein anachnu metabelin afilu pa'am echat vehalayla hazeh שתפי העמים שבכל הלילות אנחנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה והלילה הזה כולו מצה שבכל הלילות אנחנו אוכלים שאר ירקות והלילה הזה מרור. And this song, El Eliyahu, which you have in your program, it is in page 7. Everyone repeat after me. El Eliyahu. Try that. El Eliyahu. El Eliyahu. Wrong key. El Eliyahu. Try that. El Eliyahu. El Eliyahu. Bizchut Eliyahu. Bizchut Eliyahu. Hanavi Havena, Hanavi Havena. Yeah, just try that as best you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eliyahu, בזכות אליהו, הנביא הבנה, בו יתמריך בו, נא בשיבו, לא שכב ליבו, גם נורא השינה. אל אליהו, בזכות אליהו, הנביא הבנה. One more time. אל אליהו, בזכות אליהו, הנביא הבנה. God of Elijah, send Elijah to us. I'm sickened when I see my enemies fat and plump. When will you show a sign of salvation to those who call upon you in song? There's another song I just wanted to share with you from this community. It's a prayer for healing. We all do Mishebeirach. We pray for those of the healing. Those are American iterations. And this is a beautiful prayer called Elohe Oz. It's not on your program. You're just going to have to listen. And the words are, my God, heal me and I will be healed. I'll thank you with a pleasant voice and beautiful words as long as I live. Elohe Oz, tehilati, rifa'ini ve'irafe, v'ten marpe lemachlati, leval hamut ve'esafei, leval hamut ve'esafei. Soviet Jewry in the 1970s. How many of you agitated or marched on behalf of Soviet Jewry? You remember this, yes? And you remember, of course, Anatoly Sharansky on the right? These were the refuseniks. And they courageously defied all the odds, lost everything, and with a simple desire to return to their homeland, to be a Jew with dignity in the land of Israel. And this is a song called Kachol V'Lavan. And before we sing it, I want to share with you a story. It's not in your program. It's something to listen. It's a listening moment. And I'm going to pull it up right now. And I'll tell you who this story is about. It's in the voice of one of my dearest friends. She was the first Soviet Jewish woman to become a Reform rabbi. And her name is Tina Grimberg. She was born in Kiev, and her family, her very brave father said, we're leaving, and without any guarantee of anything. And they packed up all their belongings. They said what they thought were final goodbyes to their family members and dearest friends. And they resettled in the United States. Of all places, they didn't go to New York or Chicago or San Francisco. They went to Indianapolis. That was the place that could receive them in their community. And so she grew up in her teenage years in Indianapolis. And she became a hairdresser and a therapist, and then she had a calling to be a rabbi. And those things are all related, aren't they? Cutting hair? Yeah. So, especially. So she is now the rabbi of the Reconstructionist Synagogue in Toronto, in Canada. So she's a very talented writer, and among her stories that she tells is about her relationship with her grandparents. So it's about a 5-minute story, but I think it's worth it. So this is back in the late 60s, early 70s. I was proud of my handsome grandfather, my dedushka, and his garden. I was proud of my grandfather with his fine features and angular jaw. It was uncommon for a girl of my age to have a grandpa, much less a handsome grandpa. Before they were ever born, most of my friends had lost their grandfathers in the war with the Nazis. The few other grandfathers I knew had no hair except small patches on the back of their heads. Their potbellies hung over pants held up by a set of braces. My dedushka had snow-white hair that was slightly yellow at the tips. He began every day with stretches and exercises, so his body was lean and flexible. I liked to watch him standing on one leg like a bird that had landed for a moment. He had studied agriculture at a university, but the only outlet for his love of the earth was a tiny scrap of garden and his lilacs, roses, and peonies. He was utterly disillusioned by Soviet life, Soviet propaganda, and it spoke of high ethics, but really it was a different matter in reality. Despite all the jokes, people joked, the slogans, they joked, they pretend they are paying us and we pretend that we are working. Thieves are everywhere. Sasha steals from Yuri and Yuri steals from the department store and so on. He was always looking for a more ethical place to work. He moved from job to job, but in the end he'd realized the new place was filled with as many thieves as the one before. One winter day, my grandfather, my dedushka, we were sitting at the blue kitchen table in our apartment in Kiev, while the snow whispered against the window. He watched me running my fingers lightly over the bumpy skin of an orange. Oranges were incredibly scarce. And when Mama found some in a line that she had to stand in for 3 hours, Natasha, my sister, and I would each get one, while my parents shared theirs. Tinochka, do you like oranges? Asked my grandfather. Of course, I said. If I could, I would eat 100 of them. You know there is a place where orange trees line the streets? All you have to do is say that you would like to go there with me, and you can pick them yourself. Where? The thought was thrilling. Israel. It's a country for Jewish people. Your mama, papa, and Natasha will surely join us later. The possibility made me proud. Out of Dedushka's 4 grandchildren, I was the lucky one to be selected for this impossible adventure. I would have gone anywhere with him except to Israel. It was a word I could not say even out loud to my friends, Susanna, Olga, and Galina. They would not have understood. They would have stopped talking to me or would have whispered about me behind my back. Instead of giving Dedushka the answer he longed for, I asked him to help me with the orange's thick, stubborn skin. I watched him peel the orange for me, and he put the sections on a plate. When I offered him a piece, he refused. Dedushka presented his idea to Mama. Mama would not hear a word of it. After that, he never brought up the subject again. That spring, Mama and I tried as usual to plant petunias in the garden. Dedushka praised my efforts. The flowers grew, but in the end they were cruelly shredded by our cat, Susha. Dedushka Misha would live on in the small apartment on Stretskaya Street for several years after Babushka, Bronya, died. Until his death in 1978, he remained a foreigner in the country of his birth, reaching the land of Israel only in his dreams. Years later, I stood in the orchard of a kibbutz in the Galilee, among hundreds of young orange trees. I picked one and wiped its dusty skin. The juice ran down my fingers, hands, and elbows. I saluted my grandfather's memory, choking on my tears. I closed my eyes to the rising sun and bit into the orange's tangy flesh. So there's a song that was based on a Russian tune, Kachol V'Lavan, the blue and the white. And it actually is kind of naive because the Hebrew isn't totally correct, but that's what the refuseniks did. They would hungrily just grab any Hebrew they could. People would smuggle in a Hebrew book or a fragment of a prayer book, and they would learn the best they could. So just repeat after me. Kachol v'lavan, kachol, ze tzeva sheli, ze tzeva. Kachol v'lavan, tzivei admati, tzivei admati. Kachol v'lavan, kachol v'lavan, kachol. זה צבע שלי כל ימיי לעולם. The blue and the white, the blue and like a dream, like a song. The blue and the white, I hope for shalom, I hope for shalom. Kachol v'lavan. The blue and the white, these colors are mine till the end of my life. These colors are mine till the end of my life. It was Russian. Yes. She wrote the story. Yeah, she's such a gifted writer. And that is refuseniks landing in Israel and rejoicing in the ground, having arrived in the airplane. What's our timing like? Are we good? Okay. This is, do you know what city this is? Does it say? Oh, it says Mantua. It's Mantua in Italy. It is in Lombardy. It's a small city about 80 miles southeast of Milan. And there was a very important thing that happened in this city in terms of Jewish music. It was a renaissance, literally the renaissance of music, but brought to the Jewish world by Salomone Rossi. He was remarkable for his time. Any of you who have been to Venice, you've seen the ghetto of Venice, right? You know that the Jews were not welcomed, as darlings. They had their own place, and they had to be separate, and they had limitations at how they could move, how they could make a living. And it was also true in Venice, in Mantua. But this Salomone Rossi was so gifted as a musician, and he became the court composer, one of the court composers of the Gonzaga family in Mantua. And he innovated music at the time, not Jewish music we're talking yet, classical music, chamber music and other innovations. And he created a collection of music called Shirim Asher Lishlomo, songs according to little sound effect there. He said it's a play on the Song of Songs because Solomon, the Song of Solomon, and his name was Shlomo. Anyway, I wanted to play something for you. He wrote music in the polyphonic style. He changed, revolutionized what was possible in the synagogue. This is in the 1600s. And I'm going to play for you one of his settings of Psalm 46. And I'll do my best on my phone and the microphone. We'll do the best we can. So he brought the art of his day, polyphonic music, to the synagogue. And this is a image of some of the music that he wrote with the notation of the time. And you'll notice it's hard to see, but they're Hebrew words, and you have to figure out where the notes go because Hebrew goes in one way, music goes the other way. So it was a something you just had to accustom yourself to. But there it is. Polyphonic. Polyphonic means music which has different vocal lines. So, for example, if music, it's different voices moving together, like in counterpoint. Yep. And here's a... Can you hear a little bit? So I just wanted to share. Go home and look up Salomone Rosa. Listen to by the waters of Babylon. There are different settings of the sun. There's a Baruch Hu, yes.
So to my ear, that sounded very much like church music. So what besides I could see?
Yeah. What would make it Jewish? Yeah, I would say maybe there are more diversions into the minor keys. That would make it a little more Jewish. But I think the thing that makes it Jewish is that it was set with the syllabification of Hebrew and using the art of its time. We do this all the time. In our synagogues, we take jazz, we take folk music. 90% of the music in some synagogues, right? Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha. That's 1970s. That's Joan Baez and Joni Mitchell. I mean, yeah. I have to tell you that, we are constantly borrowing from our time and from our culture around us. So I just wanted to share with you, he was so extraordinary that he did not have to wear the yellow badge or the yellow star that the Jews were required to in Italy. And he was lauded. His sister was a famous opera singer. Her name was Madame Europa. It's an incredible story. The story doesn't end well. In 1630, the War of the Austrian Succession, where the Austrian army came and just ransacked Mantua, and he likely he perished probably in that battle or moment, the pillage moment. But it is an incredible point of light of Jewish music. What city is this? It's not Amsterdam? Where? It's Copenhagen. Yes. This is Copenhagen, which is very much surrounded by water. And fishing boats are an important part of this story. So this is, I've never been to Copenhagen, but I hear it's a very charming and beautiful city. Copenhagen. Okay, some of you, yes. So many of you know the story of the Jews of Denmark. It's one of the one of the stories of courage and a possibility of people standing up for doing the right thing to save lives of their fellow Jews. So there is a song that was written by actually a non-Jewish man. His name is Fred Small, and I wanted to just share it with you because it's a beautiful song. And it's kind of like, it's a ballad, and it tells the story of, excuse me, I'm just getting over this little thing. Okay, so it's about the story. I don't have to say much else about it, because all the story is revealed in the words. So just listen to the story. You can follow along with the words. And there was a place called Denmark, and they saved almost all of their Jews. It was incredible. And it's Eichmann and Himmler, they're turning the screws. The Fuhrer, they say, grows impatient. How can it be Denmark's Jews still walk free after 3 years of kind occupation? We will take them like sheep in their beds as they sleep on the second night of the new year. Devoutly at home, they'll be helpless alone. When they cry out, no one will hear. But Duke Fitz the German tells Hedhoff the Dane, my friend, I have dangerous news. In 3 hours the transport ships will set at anchor. You must warn them, warn all the Jews. Soon the good Rabbi Melchior stands in the synagogue. There'll be no service today. The raids come tomorrow, dwell not on your sorrow. By nightfall we must be away. And I'm going to show you some photos of the actual fishing boats that saved the Jews. They're really remarkable photos. And it's fire up the diesel and look out for swells. We're leaving Espergarda behind us. Who strike at our friends, you strike us as well. Well, pray the patrol boats won't find us. When the sirens are wailing and shouts fill the night, never will you stand alone. So it's over the Ursint till the day we can welcome you home, which was the place that carried them to Sweden, which was neutral and safe. Zampolinsky, the tailor, on the eve of Rosh Hashanah, gathers his family near. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Who in this earth shall I fear? When a young Danish Gentile steps into the glow of the candle with tears flowing down. Good neighbors, flee, I pray you believe me, and as quickly the young man is gone. Christian policemen, shopkeepers, teachers tell their friends of the quickening storm, while students on bicycles race through the streets, searching for Jews to be warned. And Kotlev the foreman blurts out to his trainmen, my family has no place to hide. We'll bring them to my house, the stranger replies, and we'll spit in the damn Nazis' eyes. 7,000 of Jews smuggled over to Sweden by fishermen, nurses, and priests. Hitler says Eichmann to hunt them all down, but his quarry have vanished like mist. When the war's over, the Jews they return, cheers and flowers adorn their way home. We're not heroes or martyrs, so say the Danes. We were just looking after our own. We were just looking after our own. It's fire up the diesel and look out for swells. We're leaving Espergarda behind us. You strike at our friends, you strike us as well. We'll pray the patrol boats won't find us. When the sirens are wailing and shouts fill the night, never will you stand alone. So it's over the Ursint till the day we can welcome you home. So it's over the Ursint till the day we can welcome you home. It's a remarkable story, huh? And told very well in this. Well, this is us. This is Ellis Island. This is how most of us got here. Our ancestors came on these ships, crowded with a few dollars in their pocket and a few dreams. That's us. And that's the Statue of Liberty. And how the world has changed since then. And that's another story. But I want to share this really beautiful song, which is very heartfelt, by Julie Gold, who wrote, From a Distance, Allah, God is watching us. By Bette Midler sang that, right? Okay. So this is a really, it's a simple song, but I don't know why, it touches me so deeply. And I'm going to share it with you. So as you're hearing this song, I want you to think about your ancestors who came here with a few suitcases, a few dreams, and what you owe to them, and the legacy of all that. My mother came to America, sailed through the harbor of hopes and of dreams. Back in the 30s, the streets were paved in gold and the sky laced with moonbeams. Mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, here in the free world were the lucky ones. All of my yearning, all of my hunger. Excuse me. I'm getting verklempt. Maybe I'm learning. Sometimes I wonder. Good night, New York. Before the Kennedys, before the Beatles, before the Vietnam War, back to a time when anything was possible, having less meant knowing more. Brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, here in the free world for that second chance. All of my yearning, all of my hunger, maybe I'm learning. Sometimes I wonder. Good night, New York. My mother came to America, sailed through the harbor of hopes and of dreams. And here in the future, I hope I've not failed her, 'cause nothing's the way that it seems. All of my yearning, all of my hunger, maybe I'm learning. Sometimes I wonder. Good night, New York. Good night, New York. Yeah, I think that it's, I think the composition of it, it gives you time to digest the words. Mothers and fathers, you can think about your mothers and fathers, uncles and aunts. I know there's something, there's a breathing, there's a breath in between the lyrics, and yeah. And it's a sweet melody too. This is Israel. Well, of course, we're going to, not of course, but it makes sense. I could have chosen 5,000 slides about Israel, and these are very unrepresentative. They're just, I lived in Jerusalem in Nachlaot, right near the marketplace, the Machane Yehuda, and I would go there many times a week, and this was a common scene in my life there, with all the wonderful, colorful produce and people with the hustle bustle before Shabbat. And yeah, we have heavy hearts, and yet we still have this incredible love for this place, and we keep hoping and trying to work for peace and coexistence and sanity. This is also this is Ben Yehuda Street in Jerusalem. And this is a little ray of hope. This is a soccer team of Arab Israelis and Jewish Israelis. And they play in a league together. And they, just through the sports, they discover each other's humanity. It's a little tiny ray of hope. And these are some girls learning the shofar. And this is a very simple song, but I love it. Eretz, 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 a land of a light blue sky without a cloud, and the sun merges with the land like milk and honey, a land we were born in, a land we will live in, and we will continue living here no matter what happens. A land that we will love, she is like a mother and a father, a land of the people to last forever, a land we will live in no matter what happens. The sea up against the shore, the flowers, the children without end, the Sea of Galilee in the south, desert sands, and east to the west kisses the border. And we're thinking about the Galilee now, and all the shelling, and in the desert too, and being beleaguered on all sides. Eretz, 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 Eretz techol einav, v'lashem shelo. כי דבש וחלב, ארץ בה נולדנו, ארץ בה נחיה, ונשב בה יהיה מה שיהיה. I'm going to just teach you this chorus. Everyone sing, ארץ שנאהב, try that, ארץ שנאהב, היא לנו הם ואהב, try that, היא לנו הם ואהב. Eretz shel ha'am, try that. Eretz shel Eretz leholam, Eretz leholam, Eretz ba noladnu, Eretz ba nichye, Yiyeh ma sheyiyeh. Eretz, 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 Yam el mul hachof, ufrachim v'ilhadim bli sof, בצפון כנרת, בדרום חולות, ומזרח למערב נושק גבולות. Try to join in on the chorus if you can. ארץ שנאהב, היא לנו אם ואהב, ארץ של העם, ארץ לעולם, ארץ בה נולדנו, ארץ בה נחיה, יהיה מה שיהיה, יהיה מה שיהיה. And we're going to end with a song of hope and a classic song from the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. Next year, we'll sit on the porch and count all the birds. Children on vacation will play catch between the house and the fields. You'll see how good it will be in the coming year. And we still have to continue to hope and work. How many of you know this Hashanah haba, right? Od tireh kama tov yeh Hashanah haba. Od tireh kama tov yeh Hashanah haba. Bashana haba neshev al hamidpeset v'nispor tzipurim nodedot. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית ולבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. So this program has come to a close. I hope you learned a few things. I hope you enjoyed singing this music and learning a little bit more about the gorgeous legacy of the Jewish people through music, through story, through song. And there's a part 2 of this. There's so many places. There's Buenos Aires, and there's Turkey, and there's Yemen, and there's Ethiopia, and there's so many places. And next, Bashana Haba'ah.
Coming all the way out here and sharing his love of music from all different places, and you're beautiful playing distinguishably. It's beautiful. So we're going to take just a few minutes because I stand between you and 20 different kugels. How fun is that? But this is an opportunity for us to do, flex our high holiday muscles. You haven't heard it in about a year, so we're going to just do a few songs, sort of the top 10, if you will, and then we'll end with Havdalah. And then we'll have a chance to schmooze and to eat together. But I was just thinking, let's say the Shekhinyahu, because here we have come to Selichot. Selichot, by the way, I didn't even know this, I was looking it up today. This is a Selichot program. In traditional circles, by the way, we wouldn't get together until midnight. A little late for most of us, we're in bed. Long sleep, in REM sleep. But usually we do this at 12 o'clock at night. And some Jews do it every day in the month of Elul, which is the month which we prepare. But the Selichot, there was a leaflet that was found going back to the 8th century in China. So people have been doing Selichot for a very, very long time. So just join me on page 18. We'll do some English, we'll do some Hebrew. Most will be very familiar to you. Please share your books. We have about 24 of them. And hopefully we'll get some more for next year. But page 18, a meditation for the new year. Page 18. The old year has died together.
And the new year is being born. In this pause, before the account is made of the past,
My life is judged for what it is. I ask for honesty and vision and courage, honesty to see myself as I am, vision to see myself
as I should be,
and the courage
to change and realize myself.
Many obstacles block my return, my lack of trust, my anxieties
And fears.
and the old habits of selfishness and greed. They divide me from my true nature and deny me the contentment and the peace that you offer. Your hand is open to every living being. At the smallest sign, you come to meet us, for you are generous to forgive. On this day of repentance, stretch out your hand to me, so I may grasp it and walk with you along the path of love and duty, harmony and peace that await from me. And fear, may peace be help us to return to God, and then surely shall we return to renew our days as in the past.
Hashivenu,
This idea of on page 30, if you turn to your Selichot prayer book on page 30, it says, "We are your people and you are your God." There is an understanding that what we were doing by returning is we are coming back into covenant with God, into promise, into relationship in the fullest way possible. Ki anu ameta, page 30.
I'm not sure the melody you do here, but I'll just try one. Ki hanu amecha ta'el halkeinu ana ve'ata avinu anu nachalatecha ve'ata goraleinu tzonecha ve'ata roreinu anu karecha ve'ata nodreinu anu rayatecha ve'ata dodeinu.
Jonathan is going to lead us in arena. If you read music, don't read this music.
Yeah, so if you can just see these words, Lishmoa El Harina, Ve'el Et HaTefillah. Let me see the Hebrew. Ve'el HaTefillah, yeah. And hear the cry and hear the prayer. Lishmoa El Harina, Ve'el HaTefillah. Try that. Lishmoa El Harina, Ve'el HaTefillah. One more time. Lishmoa El Harina, Ve'el HaTefillah. Lishmoa lots of lovely melodies for this. So look at page 31. El Melech Yoshev al Kisei Rachamim מתנהג בחסידות, מוחל עוונות עמו, מעביר ראשון, דבר במחילה לחטאים, וסהילי לפושעים. יאי רי ללי, יאי ללי מחילה לחטאים, וסהיליך לפושעים.
On page 33, Shema, listen, kol, voice, and if you say kol leda, it means our voices. We hope that the high holidays are a time when God hears our voices. Page 33. Hear our voice, eternal God, have compassion upon us, and with that compassion accept our prayer. Help us to return to you, O God, and then surely shall we return, renew our days as in the past. Shema, Kolenu, Nayatenu, Kusra, Kevalenu, Vekaver, Alamim, Ratzon, Etzet, Ilatenu, Ashivenu, Adonai, Lachavena, Shuvah, Hadeshamenu, We still have a few days between now and Rosh Hashanah to do our work. And what we're going to do is on page 35 to start with the Oyoyoyos here. So I want to share with you today at Shabbat, we did a little learning from the Mishnah Torah, which is written by the Rambam. You probably heard of it. It's Maimonides in the 12th century. And it says that in order to really do Teshuvah, you have to figure out what did you do wrong, and you have to say it out loud. Very interesting, the idea of saying it out loud, because we did some prayer today where we spoke out loud to God on our walk. When you say something out loud, you hear yourself. It's very different. And then you have to go to the person and say, I'm sorry. But you have to sort of understand why you're saying you're sorry. You can't just say, oh yeah, I know I blew it again and I'm really sorry. There has to be some process that you go through to be able to really have it be a complete teshuvah. So, in this week's Torah portion that we just left, Parshat Nitzavim, it says circumcise your heart. It's a very strange concept, right? The idea of circumcising your heart. But if you think about it, when you circumcise, there's foreskin, there's some skin that's there that needs to be removed. I've been thinking now today that going like this is a kind of circumcision of the heart. It's sort of waking it up. You know, there's an idea of tapping. Has anyone heard of tapping? It's you can kind of know this because of your healing. But the idea of tapping is removing the energy. And maybe I'm going to think this year of this as a way of circumcising the heart. And if you don't like that, you can just pat it. And then if you're really having trouble, you can just all right? Normally we stand for, we're getting our muscles connected here on page 35. So please rise. We have all committed offenses together. We confess these human sins. You want to do la la la?
You go ahead. You find your. You start.
La la la.
La.
blot out all our traditions. You never know how one person's actions or what they say can really influence you. And you were talking about ancestors. I'm really here because my father had gone to yeshiva, was a very learned man, and in a very small congregation, maybe even smaller than this, he would be on the bima reading Torah and so forth. But as a little girl, you're looking up, he was 6'3", and I just remember him with the tali, going like this, Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha. So we're going to do Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, and then we're doing the English. Page 36. Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, for the sin we've committed against you, under duress or by choice. Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, against
consciously.
Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, for the sin we've committed against you openly or secretly. Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, by hating without cause, except some other people in the world. Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, for dishonesty in business. Al Hey Shekatanu L'Fanecha, by hurting others in any way. The Al Kulam on the top of 37.
Ach lanu, mechal lanu.
Please remain standing and please take your sheet that has the 13 attributes on it. You're going to open the ark. I hope you have like this single sheet. You're going to have to.
Okay. Adonai.
I just want to say one thing before you. Does everyone have it? No. It's a single sheet that says the 13 attributes. It should be on the back of your. No, not everyone. Okay, go on behind it. It's right there. Anyone else have that need it? Sort of on an angle. Yes? Now, can you see it? Yeah? No? Yeah. There. Show everybody else. What page is that?
The Adonai?
Right here.
Oh, 194?
So I want to say something about this. You have it at an angle, everybody. It was hard because this, I don't know why this George does not, this Selichot does not have it. It's at an angle. You get it? Yes. Yes, you have it. So God said to Moshe, your people have screwed up before, they're going to screw up again. And God said, when they screw up, have them say this from the words of the Exodus, and I will know that they are calling me to say they're sorry. And we all do it in front of an open arm.
Adonai, Adonai, Rachum v'chon, Ereh apayim, Rav chesed ve'emet, Notzei chesed la'alafim, Notzei avon v'afesha v'chata'ah v'nakeh, Adonai, Adonai, Rachum v'chanun, Ereh apayim, Rav chesed ve'emet, Chesed la'alafim, Notzei avon v'afesha v'chata'ah v'nakeh, Adonai, Adonai, Rachum v'chanun, Ereh apayim, Rav chesed ve'emet, Notzei chesed la'alafim, Notzei avon v'afesha v'chata'ah v'nakeh.
Next time you see this open, there will be white Torah covers, I have a feeling. Right, Yehudi? Yes, there will be. And tomorrow morning, you're going to have people come and help? Is that right? Tomorrow morning, you want to say something? Yeah? Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Richard.
This is an unpaid,
Gal, can you get the lights? We're going to turn the
announcement.
lights off for Havdalah. Just turn to page 1. We're going to do
But,
Havdalah.
okay, so since Rob gave me the floor, first, Kugel. I want to thank everyone who made a kugel. We have an amazing amount of kugels, and we call it a kugel off, but it's not a competition. They're all winners. So afterwards, we'll be adjourning to the social hall for the kugel. So thank you all who did that. And also, guess what? As Rav said, Rosh Hashanah, Wednesday night. Lots of prep to do. I will be sitting at the first...
Can you talk to the mic so they can hear you?
Okay, that's right. And for the two people who are on live stream, you too can volunteer. Next year we're going to call it active participation rather than honors. Many of you are very humble and said, oh, I don't deserve an honor. I don't want an honor. We need you to step up. So, like for opening the ark, closing the ark, silent parts. I'm going to be sitting at a table and signing people up for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for many of the parts that have not yet been assigned. Also, we need prep help, like changing the white. I first got involved here with Blossom. Where's Blossom and Gail? Blossom and Gail polishing the silver. We're a very participatory community. Tomorrow morning we will be here at 10 o'clock and Monday afternoon. So if you have a question, whether I mean you, besides Corinne Zimmerman, I mean all of you who could, please come. We're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of kugel. So tomorrow morning at 10 and Monday afternoon starting at 1. If you come for half an hour, you could come tomorrow morning starting at 10, Monday starting at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
10 tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And can you just say something quickly about October 7th?
Okay. And two more last but not least. October 7th, there's a community-wide gathering in Scranton. The Scranton Federation has offered to pay for a bus for us. It might end up being a van. We might end up carpooling, depending on the numbers. Nobody wants to, but who will come, who will stand with us in Scranton? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, this is a sense of the community. If we showed it live stream here, we now have live stream. Who would come here?
It's on Monday, October 7th.
Monday, October 7th at 7 o'clock.
It's being run by Federation for all of the Northeast Pennsylvania community.
Okay.
We thought maybe we'd get a group together, but if not, Judy's saying, would people come here? We want to commemorate October 7th.
But really, there's no more, one more only Corinna's saying she'd come here, not there. Okay, and then back to food last. For the second day of Rosh Hashanah, Friday, we are going to have a kind of potluck, kind of bring your leftovers. Anyone who wants to have lunch together here, second day, Friday, and bring non-meat, parv or fish, dairy, leftovers, or we'll do a little coordinating of it, have lunch here. Who's interested in that? Okay. And we're having our walk and we're having traditional service second day. And the last food thing of the moment is Sukkot. We have this idea to have dinner together in our sukkah here the first night of Sukkot. And we're talking about, the Sunday will be a soup fest. It's wonderful. Now people may mend. We're talking about maybe paying to have a very simple dinner brought in. Is anyone interested in, once again, a dinner? Who's interested in having Wednesday? I was trying to make this first. I'll slow down. Wednesday, October 16th for Sukkot. Who's interested?
It's the first night of Sukkot. It's a
okay. And if it's rainy or something, we'll say the blessing out there and come back in and eat it here. Okay. Who's interested in having it be a potluck? who's interested in paying and having, okay. All right. Thank you for letting us take the time to figure this out. That was a very definitive answer. Okay.
So we're going to make Havdalah. Normally, as I said, thank you so much, Selichot would be done. We would do Havdalah first because Selichot would be done, at 12 o'clock at night, and Shabbat would be over. But we started first, so we're doing Havdalah afterwards. It's also an opportunity for people who don't normally do Havdalah. It's 5 minutes, and then we'll get you inside to eat. But it's such a beautiful, mystical, Kabbalistic, it's like the bookend to Shabbat. You have candles, you have wine, and then we'll pass around the Beis Hamim. We'll pass around the spices so that you can smell it. And the reason we do that is because we're so sorry and sad that our extra soul is leaving us for Shabbos. Let's see if we can get some of the lights down, Gal, without making sure people can. I want to make sure people can still read. I don't know if you can. It's a little hard. And maybe put your lights on, your electric lights. That's very dark. Oh, but look, it looks so pretty.
That's nice. Let's keep it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I know you're not going to be able to say the prayers with me, though.
That's okay.
Okay.
Turn them out, Gal.
הנה אל ישוע תיפתח ולא אחד ויוזיב וזמרת יה אדוני ויהי לישועה ושפתם מים וששון ממענה הישועה לאדוני הישועה על עמך ברכתך סלה אדוני צבאות עמנו משגב לנו אלוקי יעקב סלה אדוני צבאות אשרי אדם בוטח בה אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ויום קוראנו ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה וששון ויקר כי תהיה לנו כל תשועה תעשה ובשם אדוני אקרא. Get ready for lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la 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 lai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei besamim borei minei besamim la 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 let me hear you la 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 la. We use the flame to look at our fingernails and make sure they're clean. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh la 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 la. Let me hear you. La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshen ben Yisrael le'amim ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yamei hama'aseh. Are you ready for the sizzle? Baruch atah Adonai Amavdil ben kodesh lechol. You do the lie, 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 lie. What happened to the lie lies? Come on. Ah. Lie, la, 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 lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Shavua tov, everyone. Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov. B'Teyavon, everyone, go inside and have a wonderful little taste of all of the kugalot. Thank you. I made such a mess. I tried to go like this and it's thank you.
Yes, she doesn't.
But she knows about the in that region. Being under surveillance and
apparently for like hundreds of years in this town, it's like a big religious center. In Iran, apparently, whenever there was like an economic downturn or whatever, like, and give out an order, okay, 100 Jews have to be killed. And it's like, apparently they all dressed up as if they were conservative Muslims.
Wow.
But they all had maintained their synagogue, maintained their congregation. And everyone in the community knew that they were Jewish. They just kind of this pretense.
Wow.
As a result, the father and mother had such intense fear that even when they came to this
that would make sense, right?
sort of paranoid and afraid. And she just starts about her life as she's here. She grew up here. Like, now to understand why her parents went through. It's a very interesting story of her life. It's a
She knew of the Jews, yes.
and so she gave me this book.
When things were good, they were good, but when they were not, it was bad.
Well, my understanding from her and the books, most of the time was bad. Most of the time was bad.
For the Jews in Iran?
Yeah. What
You
depends
mean,
where you were.
are we talking before, after the Shah was?
The past, this is even before the shock war.
Before that?
Yeah. Because I think her family came here before the shock was overthrown.
Yeah. What was that in the 70s where things were fermenting, like the revolutionary?
No, I kind of wish that something would go
Because I think in the 50s and 60s, as I remember, The Jews in Iran actually were.
Maybe it depends where you were in this community. There's no big religious centers.
Oh, was it Shiraz?
No, I think the northeastern.
Oh, how did it look? Are we still on? Yeah. I was on computer. I have my notes. What? Yeah, that's the only thing. And I said to my family, I said, we don't have the view of it. I said, sit down, don't change anything. Oh, there it is. End stream. I remember this. See, it's like a lot of things that you do in life. Just when you do it. Okay. Stream finished. Dismiss.